Hello, my name is Jean Van Cinder in Law. I'm Associate Vice President at University College Cork. And this afternoon, I'm in conversation with Dr. Catherine O'Sullivan of the School of Law at the university. Good afternoon, Catherine.
Good afternoon, Jean, and thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Dr. Catherine O'Sullivan, and I am the Director of the BCL Pathways degree. In terms of my teaching, I teach criminal law, criminology, and I'm also involved in teaching on the BA criminology.
So you call it the BCL Pathways degree. What's the code reference to that?
That is CK301 on the CAO form.
And why is it called BCL Pathways?
Because it is a degree that will allow you to take one of three paths at the end of your first year of your studies. So it's a degree that gives you a chance to settle into the study of law before you decide what you want to do. Do you want to do a 3-year degree? Do you want to do a 4-year degree? Do you want to do some work placement as part of your 4-year degree? Or would you like to go study abroad in a different country, learning law through English, but in countries in Europe, in India, in Asia, or in America?
So if you were going through your secondary school and you said, I've got an interest in principle in law, but I really don't know what area of law, BCL Pathways is possibly what you should choose.
I would say so. I think very few students who start off studying law really understand what the law actually is anyway. They might have some idea from watching TV shows, or maybe they have an interest in, politics or news stories generally. So they understand that law is important, but they don't necessarily know what is involved. So it often isn't until you start studying law that you really get a sense as to what are the types of subjects that are of most interest to you. So it really is a settling in process, and that's what the BCL Pathways offers you. It offers you that choice, that chance to settle in, to decide where you want to go and how long you want to stay studying as an undergraduate student, and what are the types of options that you want to make available to yourself.
And what subjects would you have to take in your leaving cert to pursue a degree in BCL Pathways?
Well, in addition to all the subjects that you have to take in order to enter a university generally, such as Irish, English, maths, and a foreign language, we often tell students that it's useful if you enjoy reading. So English is obviously a subject that might be of assistance to you. History too, because again, history is a subject that does require an awful lot of reading and ability to draw together various sources and analyze and so on. So any subjects that engage your critical, analytical mind are good subjects. And what might surprise you, for instance, would be the inclusion of maths or music as being useful subjects, because both of those subjects are very logical. And law is in many respects about logic, and sometimes about recognizing when the logic is missing.
Oh, interesting. And how long is the degree?
It depends on which pathway you choose. So at the end of the first year of your degree, you decide whether or not you want to do a 3-year degree or a 4-year degree. So you will graduate at the end of 3 years with a BCL degree, or you will graduate at the end of 4 years with either a BCL clinical or a BCL international. And the difference between those degrees, quite simply, is what happens in the 3rd year of the 4-year degree. So in the 3rd year of the BCL international degree, you will go abroad and you will study law through English, but in different countries. And it's a really wonderful way of exposing yourself to another culture, another way of thinking about the law, introducing yourself to experts outside of Irish law, and it does massively expand your horizons. And you will study in this university, either in North America, so in Canada, or in America itself, or in various institutions in Europe, or in Asia, and you will be there for either 1 semester or 2 semesters. If you choose the BCL clinical pathway, well then in the 3rd year, you will either have 1 or 2 semesters on placement with a law firm or with a non-governmental organization, or depending on your interests, we work with students to help find placements that are relevant to where they want to go in the future.
And so is the work placement program organised through the university, or does the student have to organise his or her work placement themselves?
We have a dedicated clinical education coordinator, Dorothy Appleby, and she is the director of the BCL clinical program. So she has been our director of this program and has been the clinical education coordinator for a good number of years now, and has developed fantastic links with various firms, and we have students placed in big law firms and small law firms. We have them working with the Environmental Protection Agency. We will do our best to try and find a placement that suits where you want to go. But of course, we are careful to ensure that the placement is a quality placement. So that's why we've developed a good network of partners with whom we place our students.
So obviously work-ready, world-ready graduates is what we pride ourselves on producing in University College Cork. So can you talk to me about the employability of a graduate who comes out of University College Cork with the BCL pathways?
Well, I suppose the key thing to know about a law degree is that a law degree has always been a very prestigious degree. And in UCC, we can say with honesty that that prestige is warranted. When you study law, you get to learn how the law works. And that means that in applying law, you have to identify problems, solve them, and propose solutions. Sometimes you might advocate for those solutions. Other times you might propose a number of alternatives. And in order to do this properly, well, clearly you have to develop certain skills. And these are skills then that are useful to a wide variety of careers. Because, for instance, you have to be able to do a lot of research in order to be able to propose a solution. You have to be able to digest copious amounts of information. You then also have to evaluate that information, and you have to then ultimately present that information in a coherent and persuasive way in order to ensure or to maximize the chance that your solution will be accepted as being a valid one. So we produce critical and independent thinkers who have great evaluative skills, who are very appreciative of detail and of nuance, and these are skills that are very important in modern workplaces.
And do all graduates go on to become lawyers? Or have you seen that people who qualify have gone on to do different careers, obviously drawing on the skill sets that they have acquired throughout their BCL Pathways degree?
We find actually that anecdotally, we find that maybe half of our students go on to practice law, but our other graduates have such a wide variety of careers. We have graduates who work as in-house counsel for big firms, for small firms. We have graduates who are working for NGOs, such as maybe migrants' rights centers. We have graduates who are involved in the media, so they might be journalists, they might be working behind the scenes as a talent agency. We have graduates who have who become politicians, who are civil servants, who work in the diplomatic corps, who get to travel the world. So really there is having a law degree opens a lot of doors for you in terms of career opportunities.
And what do people do who decide to do postgraduate?
What we find is that students will often like to choose to do a specialized law degree after they have done their undergraduate law degree. So, for example, in UCC, we have a number of specialist degrees such as a child and family master's, an environmental law master's, an IT law master's, a business law master's, and then of course there are other options too. Students might like to, if they're very interested in criminal law, they might, for instance, want to go on to do an MA in criminology. So what students will find is that even if they want to divert or go in a different direction to a traditional law career, such as being a solicitor or barrister, that the types of skills that they have developed as undergraduate law students will allow them to apply for postgraduate qualifications in disciplines that they might not have already studied in, because the types of questions might be of interest in that field as well. So it would be a cognate field. So again, options are really limitless. Obviously, there are some master's programs and postgraduate qualifications that would not be open to law students, but that would be the same because they would require an undergraduate qualification in something in that discipline. But we would also, as lawyers, accept non-law graduates into our master's programs because we find that diversity of experience, that diversity of knowledge adds to everyone's experience.
In that sense, a BCL pathways is not only will you acquire a degree specific, but it's a cohort of skill sets that can be applied into all sorts of different disciplines. So the beauty of it is that you don't have to know at the age of 18 what you want to be. You will have an opportunity of learning, acquiring skills, and making decisions down the line, which could bring you in all sorts of different directions. Why would you study BCL pathways in University College Cork?
There are a number of reasons why you might want to study law, or why you would choose to study law in, there are a number of reasons why you would choose to study law in UCC. The first is that we are an excellent law school. We have wonderful lecturers and a community of students who are very engaged and committed. We are ranked in the top 150 law schools in the world, and given that there are thousands of law schools in the world, that is no mean feat. Because of this very strong international standing, we attract students from a wide variety of backgrounds and who have a wide variety of interests. And that means that not only are you being taught by really dedicated and committed lecturers, but the students that you are studying with have very interesting lives and very interesting stories to share. And they are creative in their thinking, and that is ultimately going to ensure that your learning experience is going to be all the better. I've already mentioned that the CK301 offers you one of 3 different paths. So it does give you that breathing space in order to decide what it is you want to do, what it is you think you need, what it is you think is going to be the most valuable path for you in terms of where you want to end up in your future career. And then also there's a huge amount of flexibility in the subject choices that we offer. Every year you have to do a certain number of compulsory modules, but there is also a really good and varied mix of elective modules that you can pick from. And if you know what you want to do, what kind of area of law you might like to practice in, or even if you don't want to practice as a lawyer, if you want to go in a career where you know that certain types of legal knowledge will be of use to you, well, then you can pick those subjects. So let's say, for instance, you're very interested in maybe working for a big company or with a big company. Well, then you might pick subjects like commercial law, company law, various IT law subjects, revenue law. But if you want to maybe go down a more NGO style route, well, then you might choose to do human rights modules. So you've got international human rights law, you've got the law of the European Court of Human Rights, you might look at social inclusion in the law as a module, or you might look at advanced constitutional law. So, and that's really just a flavor of some of the types of subjects that we have.
And what do employers say? So feedback from employers.
We have had very good feedback from our employer partners. We send students every year on placement to firms, and many of our students are offered full-time training contracts as a result of that placement. In fact, we find that placements are really fantastic opportunities for students who are looking to fast track their careers. Our students would not be getting those job offers if it wasn't for the fact that they are proving that they are well trained and well able students. So we also know from various interactions with employers, we've modified some of the courses that we've taught in order to ensure that our students are meeting the needs of employers, and our students are excelling. They are at the top of their fields in all sorts of different ways, be it as legal practitioners, or working in PR, or working in journalism, or wherever it is their law degree takes them.
Catherine, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you this afternoon, and to hear in great detail about what it is and the wonder, the opportunities that are associated with studying law in University College Cork and graduating with a BCL, pursuing the BCL pathways route. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Employability and career development initiatives are delivered through curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Over 90% of our programs offer placements internationally and nationally. Throughout your time in UCC, you will have the opportunity to develop employability skills through entrepreneurship modules, skill sessions, and memberships of clubs, societies, becoming a class representative and getting involved. Throughout your student journey, UCC Career Services will support your career planning with one-to-one career consultations and coaching. The Career Services collaborate with academic departments and other UCC units to deliver bespoke and standalone employability and career-related workshops and events for all students and recent graduates. Our annual recruitment fair is one of the largest national career fairs, featuring up to 100 top graduate employers. For more information about UCC employability initiatives and the career services, visit ucc.ie/careers.